Let your soul and spirit fly into mystic. Let your soul and spirit fly into mystic. Into mystic. Into mystic. Into mystic.
Good evening and welcome back to Mystic Matters. We are the Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce. Good evening, Tricia Cunningham.
Good evening, Suzette.
Welcome
Tebus.
back, as usual, every week.
Every week we're here.
And we're enjoying it, aren't we?
Absolutely.
So should we turn it right over to Dan for the Mystic Seaport?
I think so.
Because I think he has a lot of things to tell us this evening.
They're busy over there at the Mystic Seaport.
Yet another busy
And that's
month.
great.
April was great. May is turning out to be just as busy, I think.
Excellent.
Dan, gone past your facility several times in the last 2 weeks. It's been great weather and the parking lot has been packed.
The parking lot has been full.
And the
wonderful.
people strolling back and forth on Route 27, love that.
Yeah.
The weather's been great. We've had, I think, the aquarium probably says the same thing.
Same
Everyone
thing,
downtown,
yes.
it's been a wonderful
absolutely. For the
spring
whole
so
town.
far, and we're just hoping to build on that and keep things going. And to start out, we opened up a new exhibit about last week. And it's a joint exhibit with the Del Vero Academy in New York, which is an art academy. And about 24 of their artists came up to Mystic Seaport several times over the last couple years and created works of art inspired by the Charles W. Morgan. So, which is completely different. And they put the whole exhibit together. We basically gave them the space, access to the Morgan, and they did their thing. So they're wonderful carvings, puppets actually,
Okay.
lots of all sorts of media. It's digital, it's standard pen and ink, watercolor, everything. But it's really neat to see how each artist, took a look at the Morgan, took a look at the ship,
their
took a look at
rendition.
whaling, and came up with something neat. So it's real. It's a whole.
And
It's
how
in
long
the.
will that exhibit be?
That's going to go through Labor Day 2013, so you have plenty of time to see it.
Good.
But it is fresh, it's new, it's very different from Mystic Seaport, and it's a great way to spend about an hour going through seeing something pretty cool.
Fantastic.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So, and we have our Safety on Sea and Shore. It used to be First Responders Weekend, so any first responder gets free admission with their family.
Which I think is just wonderful.
Which we like to give back, but on top of that, it'll be a great weekend of antique rescue influenced fire trucks, demonstrations on the green. Of course, everyone's favorite, the Newfoundland dogs will be back to do all their hardest working dogs in the world, apparently. So they'll be there, and that's coming up the 19th and 20th of May, and that'll be fun. We've really expanded that a bit from what it was, moved it to the spring, so that should be a good weekend. And of course, Lobster Day is over Memorial Day weekend,
That's a big favorite.
which is a big favorite.
It's always packed in that weekend. So again, Dan, so it's lobster, corn, and
A hot dog if you want it.
okay.
Yep.
Is there chowder involved? I can't remember.
Yeah, there's chowder. involved.
Okay.
You can get everything you need for
Right.
a traditional New
Excellent.
England meal. And I guess finally, we do have a new military discount as of May 1st. We are dropping all our rates for any active duty military with an ID and their accompanying family to our general group rates for adults and
Okay,
kids.
so they
terrific.
just have to show their military
Just
ID
have to show the
card.
military ID.
Okay,
It'll
that's
happen
great.
right at the gate. And
That's
so
wonderful.
and there's a discount on membership too if someone
Good.
wants a family membership. So
Good.
that's
I'm glad you
something
guys
new.
are doing that.
Yep.
That's terrific.
Fantastic.
Good. And for more information, people can go to.
www.mysticseaport.org.
All right.
As always.
Excellent.
Dan, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to hear what's happening at the Mystic Seaport, and we certainly just appreciate you coming on
Oh.
board every other week.
Thanks for the opportunity to talk. We'll see you again in a couple weeks.
All right.
Thanks,
Sounds
Dan.
good.
Well, Tricia, we've got a lot going on. I don't
We
know
do.
where to start, but
Mystic is busy. I know you had a couple things that you wanted
yes,
to talk about.
Yeah,
so
and I just want to take a few minutes to put out there. There's a few events that Majestic sponsors or work in conjunction and supports. Okay, so the first one is Chain Reaction, and what Chain Reaction is, it's actually the first student, Rachel's Challenge. She is the first student that was killed during the Columbine massacre a few years back, and one of her goals was to stop bullying. And so we have this event that we are sponsoring along with the Stonington Prevention Council and Stonington Human Services, and it's going to be at the Old Mystic Village Art Cinema.
Excellent.
And,
Good location.
Very, very good location. Bill Dougherty is just a wonderful person to open up his facility. So it's opened up to the students and adults, and
these
it's
are good, nice, nicely priced tickets
They are very
for
nicely
students.
priced.
So that's true. That's a good thing.
So some of our talented students from Stonington High School, and they'll be able to play with Johnny and the East Coast Rockers. So
Very cool.
that starts at 7 p.m. on May 17th. And then moving right along, because I'm a Fitch Senior High School graduate, we also have Jim Streeter, who's the historian for the town of Groton.
We love Jim Streeter.
We love Jimmy Streeter, and from 5 to 7 on May 20th, he is going to be presenting his newly published book on Robert E. Fitch. So at the Groton Elks. And so if you are interested in any tickets, of course, Majestic has them available as well. And this supports the Fitch Senior High School Alumni Foundation. Then one more event. So a few months back, Majestic got together with Bill again, and from the Old Mystic Village Art Cinema, and we are sponsoring a concert with Rob Mosenberg, John Harrington, and Marshall Crenshaw. So that starts at 7 o'clock, and he came out with a CD. Rob came out with a CD,
a song
Mystic
about
Redemption.
Mystic
So,
Redemption.
Call for tickets or stop into Majestic or 860-572. Believe it's 8074,
It
but
is.
it's Majestic Inc.
See, I know her number by heart, and she doesn't. You.
I don't usually call myself at the office, but it's Majestic Inc. at sbcglobal.net. So that is all of my events and things that are going on Route 1.
Excellent.
Okay.
Well, one thing I just want to mention really quick before we go into welcoming our guest tonight is we are now in the month of May, and what I am asking people, as much as I can, when you have the opportunity, to please go into downtown Mystic and support the businesses in downtown
Absolutely.
Mystic. There's a couple more months left of the Streetscape project, and as you know, it's been a long project, and coupled with the bridge project that was going on in the winter months, this has been a long couple of years for the downtown merchants, and they really need everybody's individual support. So if you can take time to go into downtown Mystic, and there will be free half-hour parking for free in the Mystic Arts Center parking lot. So half-hour parking is free. After that, there's a fee, but that will start later on in the month of May, which is great. So stay tuned for that information. But we have a lot of good things going on in downtown, so we need some extra support.
That's great, yeah. And I was just down there, I just have to tell you, and it did.
Oh, Suzette's good for some shopping.
Well, it's good for shopping, and also, you know, I've made a conscious effort when we are entertaining or even a business lunch to support also our restaurants in downtown Mystic as well.
Absolutely.
So our guest this evening, you know,
we're in a Susan sandwich.
Right, we are, and I know they're guests, but they're really not guests because
we're in a Susan sandwich.
The two Susans have been on here on the show several times, and we welcome them back. And so I'm going to let them do their own introduction because there's really no introduction. But so we're going to start with the Susan on my left, and so Susan, your name, what you do.
I am so glad to be back. It's always fun.
Easy show this evening.
I am Susan Bailey, the development coordinator at the Riverfront Children's Center in Groton.
Easy.
And the Susan to the right.
I'm the other Susan, and I'm also happy to be back. Thank you. I'm Susan Carice. I've been pretty much everything at Riverfront except the development director.
For how many years, though?
This is I've gone 16 years now.
Yes, I remember
So
that
16
from the
years.
last year, yeah.
Yep. So I've been there a while, but my current job is the finance director, which is sort of a combination of finance and grants and operations. And Susan and I work very closely together on all of her events and outreach. So.
Good. Now, what's going on? There's always something new.
I don't even know where to start with this.
And this year, I know, and this year they have definitely some good news to share. But maybe talk about the Riverfront Run first.
Sure.
Okay.
Always happy to talk about the Riverfront Run. This year's Riverfront Run is on Saturday, May 19th.
Right around the corner.
Right around the corner, not even 3 weeks from now.
Right.
For those who are not familiar with it, it is a USATF certified 5K plus race. It's 3.425 miles. It is in Eastern Point, so it's beautiful neighborhood, goes down residential streets, through the golf course, and it's a great way to start your running season. It's one of the earlier races in the season. So we have that component of it. We also have a family fun run component, which is 1.3 miles, and everyone is welcome to run in the Family Fun Run. We have families with strollers, and the prizes reflect that. If we have first family in, family with oldest participant, family with youngest participant, that
that's
type
cute.
of thing.
That would
And
be the part that you and I would, when they say all families in the 1.3.
Yeah, I'd be in the 1.3
I
more
felt like
so than
Susan was
the,
stressing
more
that.
so than the 5K.
You can join me
Yeah.
there because that's what I do with my family.
and the youngest participant we've ever had was, I think, a week.
Yeah, 3 or 4
week
days.
old
3 or 4 days
Yes.
old. Mhm.
In the little stroller.
Nope, she
She
had
was in
little,
a
yep.
front pack.
sling.
Yes. So when we say everyone is welcome, we're not kidding. And it's a really fun event for families. Every child gets a medal. They get a certificate for participation. So we really do it up. We really get enthusiastic.
So let's just clarify. So it starts at Eastern Point Beach and ends at Eastern Point
Correct.
Beach? Okay.
Both courses are loops. They each has their own course.
Okay.
The Family Fun Run goes on really quiet streets along the Thames River so that there is no traffic to worry about at all. So it's very safe. Snurro times us. They're one of the big local timing
Right.
companies. And we have chowder for all the participants after the
Best
race.
way to end a race.
It's a really good way to end a race.
like a
I
New England
agree.
way to end a
Yes,
race.
it
That's
is.
terrific.
Yes,
And
it
this
is.
the chowder is
New
donated,
England
Susan.
Shoreline.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
One of our supporters, Chuck Bartnicki, and his family, they live up in Preston, and they have run for years. Chuck is a runner from way back, and they used to support a race up in Baltic, I believe it was, and that race was discontinued. So we were just starting, and Chuck was looking for a race to support and decided on us, which is really fortunate. They're a great family. They're involved in the planning of the race and all. And so he donates the chowder, but their family also donates the Bartnicki Prize, prizes. In the 5K, the Bartnicki Prize is a cash award to a runner in the field who does not first place or second or even third. It usually changes each year. This year, it's $50 to the 50th runner to finish. And it is
What a great idea.
It's
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
to
This one, this is kinda
recognize
random,
how
you know?
people put effort into running,
Right.
and that it's always worth it. It's always a good thing.
And
they're-
that really, you're all winners. You know.
we're all
Yeah,
winners.
absolutely,
There we
you're all
go.
winners. Some of us have better times than others, but actually we're all winners.
And
might
in
not
the,
finish, but they're
right,
still
right.
winners.
That's right. Hey, so long as you get out there and try,
right.
you know. And the Family Fun Run also has a Bartnicki Prize. It's a raffle. Every entry into the fun run gets entered into the raffle, and it's a random drawing, and that also is a cash prize. So it's adds to the excitement.
Absolutely.
And then we have prizes for various divisions in each race and in the Family Fun Run.
So Susan, the money is raised, but where do the proceeds go to?
For most of our events, I would say all of our events,
Yes.
they actually go towards tuition for children. So every dollar that comes in goes in to support a child's weekly tuition at Child Care Center and education, so they could be there and their parents can work or go to school. So it's a really worthy cause, and it goes right straight to the kids, which is great.
And you said so the parents can work or go to school. So do you have a lot of parents that they're still in school right now, or they've gone back to school?
We absolutely have a lot of parents that are actually, I would say, that are working and going to school or working and in training programs, because they're really trying to move up a bit in their family stature so that they can get out there and make more of a living for themselves. So we support that fully. So our center has children who are there early in the morning and their parents might be working, then they might start a training program part through the day and then come in, pick up. They might go to our food pantry, grab dinner, head home, or stay with us and do some more training, because we do a lot of training with families in the evenings, things about like parenting, but also maybe employment training assistance. So we do a lot for families to make sure we support them whether they're working or in school or in training.
So Riverfront Children's Center is a lot more than a children's center. So
Oh, yes.
I'm
You-
always
Oh, yes.
amazed every year that these two Susans come on, whether we're talking about the garden, and I want to talk a little bit about the kitchen, but just tell the audience, really, what does the Riverfront Children's Center do?
Sure.
all the different programs.
Sure. So we serve children who are 3 months old all the way up to 12 years. So we're really like that full service place for a family. You don't have to go from center to center as your children age. You can start with us and spend your whole time through elementary school with us. And we really try to strongly support that, because we think that's the best practice for young children, to stay in one location for a long time. And we do Early care and education. So with babies, early care and education is all about relationships and learning those self-help skills and oohing and eyeing and cooing. But when you get to 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds, a little more educational, always fun. Everything is always going to be play-based. But our teachers are in every classroom building curriculum based off the state's curriculum standards that will meet the needs of the kids. So we want to see fun, happy faces. Even in our kindergarten program, we do it in a developmentally appropriate way, so it's really based off of what the best practices of early learning are. And we just try to support families as they go through all the different things that families face.
And when you say you're supporting, you try to support the families, and what kind of support systems do you offer?
It's a great question. We've added a lot through the years.
I know.
We do a lot with our food pantry and a diaper pantry, so we help families that way. We also have clothing. We do a lot of support for families on a one-on-one basis. So if a family needs counseling, we might help them find counseling. A family needs help with transportation, we help them figure out transportation. We do a lot of trainings. I think I mentioned that a little bit earlier, but sometimes there are things that have to do with being parents, and sometimes there are things that have to do with just learning skills they might like, life skills. And we do a lot to just support each and every family in whatever way they need as best we can.
Typically, when you talk about the families, is it mostly young mothers, or is it a combination?
Most of our families, over 95% of them, I think, are single females, head of household. We have a few male head of households.
Okay.
A lot of our families are young. And not all of them, but a lot of them are young, and they're trying to just make their way through life. And you know, many of them are in school. Some of them trying to do training programs and certificate programs. They're just trying to do the best they can for their families at the same time as maybe bettering themselves a little bit. So in that way, we do a lot of employment and like career services that most child care centers probably would never have thought of doing. But if you want a family to succeed, you want a child to succeed, the whole family has to be successful. So that's our goal.
I was always amazed at what time you open up.
We open at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Yes.
And stay open until
5.
Yeah.
So what are our hours, Susan?
We're open 6 a.m. to 5 p.m., 5 days a week, 51 weeks a year. We close down for Christmas week. That's the only week we're closed. And we do a lot of projects at the center during that time that can't be done when children are on the site. So actually, we're usually pretty busy then, too.
Yes, we are.
We're just not having classes.
Now, describe where you're located and describe the facility, because you have last couple of years you had a new addition, which was the garden, so I'd want you to talk about that a little bit. And now a new addition that you have something to talk about today too. But start off with where are you located?
Sure. Well, we're on Thames Street in Groton in an old, what used to be the Groton Bank, and then I believe the YWCA, it used to be a bakery. So it was not a child care building originally. We really have done a good job to
was never set up for that.
No, but we've expanded into every nook and cranny in that building. So we have 97 children at a time, about 110 in a day because of before and after schoolers. And we do literally fit every nook of the building. And we are in a beautiful spot in the community where we have some people that are able to walk to us. They're in the community, the residents, but we're also right off of the busing and transit system. There's a drop right up the street from us, so that's convenient for families. And for us, we have so many good things that happen. We added a garden a few years ago, which I can't imagine how we live without that garden. Now that we have it, it's so integral to the daily educational part of our program.
I remember when you first started this garden.
Yes.
It's beautiful.
It's
and
beautiful,
the community
it's
helps
exciting.
so much with it, keeping it going, because kids aren't there at night and they're not there on weekends. And you know, 1-year-olds weed, but they don't weed the way So it does take an entire community to sort of raise our garden. But educationally, the experience has, you know, expanded families from where they didn't know how to do anything with a whole vegetable or fruit to where they can take it and they can make something out of it and they feel comfortable serving it and eating it, and that makes all the difference in a child's life if they learn that right from the beginning.
A healthy way.
A very healthy way to live.
Absolutely. And a new addition, a new change for this year.
Yes, we, in the fall, I believe, we opened our new meeting room, new meeting space in what used to be the bank. It was the first walk-up window bank in Groton City. And we took over that building a number of years ago and incorporated it into our facility. Over the years, rental tenants had divided the space up into a warren of little rooms, and we really, for such a long time, wanted to take the walls down, make it one big space. We never had a space big enough to accommodate a largish group meeting or classes and whatnot. So in the Riverfront Way, we had all sorts of people from the community to support it. Students from El Grasso Tech tore down the walls once we were permitted. The building inspector worked with us for the city of Groton to help us go through the whole process.
Right.
We had donors who helped bring in pieces like carpet that we could not get otherwise. So all of the community people coming together made it into this beautiful new meeting space. We can accommodate 40 people at a time. We had donations of furniture from Pfizer and other sources. It's fully furnished. So we're very excited about that. And we almost immediately started using it. We had a collaborative offering with Ledgelight Health District where they offered a smoking cessation program, and we were able to provide the space. So that's the type of thing that we want to do with other community organizations. But it also enables us to so broaden our work with children and with families, except for one thing.
What's the one thing, Susan?
We have never had a kitchen. We have made do with a microwave, crock pot, we have a refrigerator, we have never had a kitchen. And that really limits, you.
It does.
Well, we were approached early this winter by the Groton Rotary Club.
Which is a great organization.
We love the Groton Rotary Club, now more than ever. We've always loved them, but more than ever. We really do. They approached us, they were interested in applying for a Groton Rotary Foundation district managed grant. And those are larger grants that are done through the district than normally a small Rotary Club is able to do. And they talked with us about some of our dream projects, and the kitchen came up. We've never had a kitchen. And that was the project that they adopted. So Lear Duran was instrumental in driving the project forward. They did the design, they found all of the appliances, and they installed it. And it is now installed, and it is absolutely beautiful. It is a
fully working kitchen.
Fully equipped kitchenette. It's along one wall in the new meeting space. We have a full-size refrigerator, a range and oven, double sink, microwave. It is fabulous. It is fabulous. What that lets us do is now we're able to try and produce a much broader range of healthy foods for our children. Things that we never could before because we just didn't have the facilities. We also do, as Susan was saying, we do a lot.
You can do that in-house.
Absolutely.
Everything in-house.
And we can do it much more economically.
Yes. Well, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because buying prepared food out is just always going to cost you more.
You can really take that, with the garden. You had the garden, now you have the kitchen, so you can really take
garden to
table concept and really show the kids the whole whole circle of that.
We can have as Susan was saying, we do a lot of workshop type training for parents, including a lot of work on nutrition. And we can now do that much more in depth and easily with our families. 2 years ago, we ran a series of workshops. We were doing things with electric frying pans and pans and actually producing meals. But think how much more we can do now. So it is just wonderful.
It's great.
And we're having a little event to debut our kitchen, and we are inviting the public. Yes, we are. It's on May 15th, which is coming up in 2 weeks. From 5 till 7 p.m. we'll have light refreshments, and we would like all of our friends and supporters to come and visit us at the Riverfront Children's Center to see our new kitchen, meet some of the Groton Rotary members who we are so very grateful to.
Well, that's a great partnership. That's wonderful.
I just want to move for a second back to the race, because I wanted to talk a little bit about the CHIP program you also have going on that day as well.
CHIP program is sponsored by the Connecticut Freemasons, the Masons, and it is free to any Connecticut resident. And what it is a child ID program. It's one of the most advanced ones. And they do a digital photograph, fingerprinting, DNA sample.
Oh, the actual DNA sample. Okay.
Oh, yes,
They may do a voice
They do a video.
print,
Yeah,
They do a video of the
dental impression, video. So it's really
Okay.
comprehensive. Then what they do is they put it all on a disc,
Database,
a
yeah.
CD,
Right, right.
and they give it to the parent. The thing that separates them from many of the other programs is that they utilize a software program that no one can access except law enforcement, not even the parents.
Like on that disc?
Yes.
Really?
So
Okay.
the software to read that CD is only sold to law enforcement.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And therefore, if something happens,
They got in wrong hands.
there's
Right.
that safety factor.
Yes.
And if something does happen and they need all of this identification available to law enforcement, all they have to do is hand the disc over.
So this will be the same day as the Riverfront Run
is
over
at the
at
race,
Esker Point
yes.
Beach.
Right,
so they'll be available from 8:30 in the morning till 11:30.
Correct.
And that's free. So
And you don't have to
definitely-
be running in the race.
Okay.
You're welcome to come,
all are
even
welcome
if you
to
just
take it.
want the child ID. Although when you see how much fun the race is,
You might wanna jump
definitely
in.
want to register to get
But
in
you,
on the
you
fun
can
run.
also be down at Eastern Point Beach, which is a
Absolutely.
wonderful beach, and,
Yes,
and,
it's
and
lovely.
applaud all those people and show support.
Yeah.
Cheering
If you
is
don't-
good.
Cheering is very good. I like the cheering section.
We can do that.
We can
we can do the
definitely do
cheering.
that. We
Okay.
can definitely do that.
Done.
Susan, we only have a few minutes left, so just tell us again where you are located and if you have a website and a telephone number.
Sure. We're at 476 Thames Street in Groton, and our website is www.riverfrontchildren.org. Our phone number is 860-445-8151. And we are in the book, so you can look us up if you need to. We've been there for 28 years. So
28 years.
yeah.
And you've been there 16.
I've been there 16, and we just love to hear from people. Even if you're not coming because you have children to enroll, you can arrange to come and have tours and see what we're all about, see what you might want to volunteer or just
Well,
come
you know,
and get
I think
involved.
that's very important too, that people learn about your center, and so if they want to come in, just give a call and say,
Absolutely.
hey, can we take a
Yes.
little bit of a
Yes,
tour?
we
We're
could-
part of
Yeah.
the community.
Yeah,
Yes,
we could not
absolutely.
do what we do without
Well, you're right in the heart
community.
there.
We absolutely are,
The
but
city of Groton
we
there.
couldn't do all those services that we do for families without community. And Riverfront is a big part of the community. We like to give back,
sure
so we
is.
love that give and take.
Well, Susan, it's always a great pleasure to have you on Mystic
Thank you.
Matters. I
Thank
feel
you
like you
so
are not
much.
guests, you're just part of the family. And hopefully you'll come back and see us again
Absolutely.
next year. But good luck with your kitchen, your
Thank
garden, your new meeting room,
Yes. The
the
Riverfront
race. Again, May 15th, if you want to see that wonderful little kitchen from 5 to 7, light refreshments being served as well. And Tricia Cunningham, it's always a pleasure being with you
Same.
every week at Mystic Matters. And so we are the Greater Mystic Chamber of Commerce. Good evening.
Moon and spirit fly into mystic. Let your soul and spirit fly into mystic. Into mystic. Into mystic.